everybody, and welcome to a very special postseason show with one of your favorites, Kat. We are going to conspire up so much on this recap or postseason fan Q&A with Kat. But first, let me let you guys know if you've missed any of our past shows, you can check them all out on our website, yourrealityrecaps.com/bb21, with all of the past house guests that we have had on already, like Kemi, Nicole, Cliff, I can't remember them all, but they're all there, as well as our daily live feed update shows, flashback times, the trash draft info, spoiler graphics. Just check it all out over there for this season of Big Brother, or any of the seasons of Big Brother going all the way back to season 12. You can check out all of our content there. Of course, you can also see our Survivor, Amazing Race, Bravo recap shows. It's all on our website. Go and check it out. We cover a ton of reality TV. Of course, you guys are watching live right now on YouNow, so make sure you become a fan here so you are alerted every time we go live. We will have Jackson on tomorrow, followed by Holly on Tuesday. It is completely free to fan. You will be alerted when we go live. You can ask your questions in the chat. Then here is where we have the house guest shows. We do hangout shows and more, so make sure that you fan us here so that you are alerted every time that we go live. Of course, we also do live shows on TV Co as well. That's where we do our Survivor recaps, our challenge recaps, our drag race recaps. So make sure that you're following us over there. Also completely free. You get to watch live, hang out in the chat room when we are live. So make sure you are following us there. And then of course, after we post them on the website, like I said, iTunes, YouTube. Speaking of, make sure if you are watching on YouTube that you thumbs up and subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment below. 5-star rating and a nice review in iTunes is always very, very helpful, as is just sharing our content across all social media. That helps us out more than you guys know. Posting it in places where you think people would enjoy the show, telling your friends about the show. All great ways to help support us for free. Of course, if you'd like to financially help support the shows, consider becoming a patron at yourrealityrecaps.com/patron. Patrons get access to the patron-only Facebook group, prize giveaways, weekly shows. Of course, the after shows with the house guests, like the one we'll be doing with Kat after this show, John's cooking shows, weekly meal kit giveaways. It's all over there in the patron group, so give that a check out. Or you could also do a one-time donation at yourrealityrecaps.com/PayPal. You can also start your Amazon shopping by using our link, yourrealityrecaps.com/Amazon. You don't pay anymore, and it really helps support our shows. Of course, follow us on Instagram. We're always doing special Instagram giveaways and posting fun clips there that we haven't posted anywhere else. But that being said, let's get to the lady that also loves Instagram. It's Kat.
Hello.
How are you doing, Kat?
Doing good. Sorry I'm so late, everybody. I had Baylor homecoming this weekend, so I was driving back from Waco, and I'm barely alive, struggling, but here, happy to be here. So
How was homecoming?
it was a lot of fun. It was so much fun seeing all of my college friends, and of course, the Baylor Bears won. It feels really good to be back in the real world doing real world stuff.
I can imagine dealing with Wi-Fi in the real world.
Yeah, and then I had a Wi-Fi mistake. I guess my Wi-Fi got cut off while I was gone. I had no idea.
Well, I gotta say, your non-Wi-Fi is wonderful. It's almost a better quality than people who have Wi-Fi, so I'm loving it. I hate Verizon. Well, no, you know what? I do actually like Verizon. You know what else I like? The fact that people are here live, so do us a favor, spread the word, square megaphone up arrow, share the show, let people know that we are live. And Kat was gracious enough that the #1 fan on this show is going to win Kat's autograph. So that was very, very nice of you, Kat. Now, the questions are coming in. Of course, you guys can leave your questions in the chat room. You can tweet me them with hashtag YRRLive. Well, we are waiting for those to come in. Kat, I have a very important question for you.
Oh, okay. What is it?
Which bitch conspired against you the most?
Gosh, honestly, they were all conspiring. I'd probably say that Tommy was probably the #1 conspiring bitch, considering he's the one that evicted me.
True.
But I think that if it wasn't for Tommy, I was coasting through. I was in a pretty good spot. So it wasn't until he kind of got caught up in all my shit, and he exposed me, or I guess my game was exposed by him, and yeah, bitches get stitches, my friend.
So is Tommy who you feel is responsible for the ending of your game ultimately?
Well, yeah, I mean, he was HOH when I got evicted.
Sure.
And nothing against Tommy. I actually love Tommy, and we're friends outside of this game.
Right.
So this isn't anything against him at all. But, I mean, he was the HOH that sent me home. When Jack got evicted, Jack had said something to Tommy, like, I want that blonde bitch in here in jury after me. So it's kind of like Tommy was like avenging his eviction. And then also Tommy was so paranoid after the whole vote flip thing.
Right.
And was I eventually going to go after Tommy? Probably. I was kind of planning on using Jackson as a pawn for a couple weeks, or honestly, maybe, and we'll get into that later. But I wasn't necessarily an ally of Tommy's after that, but I had told him repeatedly, time and time again, like, hey, it's okay. If you don't put me up, I won't put you up. And I was really going to honor that.
Right.
But he put me up. So, and then I went home.
Now, I have a theory, Kat.
Okay.
I have my own theory.
What's your theory?
What's
your conspiracy?
I think that you are just mad because Tommy is trying to get in between you and your man.
He is trying to get in between me and Nick, isn't he?
Well, now, look, I was just kidding.
I'm not mad at Tommy at all. I mean, it's a game, I get it. But, I mean, when it comes down to picking the number one conspired bitch, for my game, it was Tommy.
All right, now look, in all fairness, I should just tell you, which you might already know, I believe that Nick is watching this in the chat room live right now. So I don't want to call you out and say, you just said Nick was your man. Is Nick your man?
I don't know if he's my man. I mean, the thing about Nick is we got so close in the jury house, and I'm so glad we got close. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Okay, first of all, they made us look so romantic in that scene.
Right.
And at the end of the day, like, the jury house wasn't this like romantic getaway for us. It was literally, we bonded. When he got there the first day, we talked for hours just hashing everything out. And I don't think that they showed that on the show. That as soon as he got there, he ran in and was like, before we watch the game recap or the week recap, I have to talk to Kat. And he gave me a really heartfelt apology. He cried. I cried. Mm-hmm. And then that night we were up for hours just kind of talking everything over, you know, kind of getting to where each one of us was coming from while we were in the house, because I hated him when I got evicted.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was a shock to people that we did get so close. But at the end of the day, it wasn't this. Production kind of cheapened, I think, the relationship that him and I had formed by airing that segment. And I don't know why they thought that it was necessary to air that.
I think it was drama.
It was drama, but I mean, at the same time, it wasn't an accurate portrayal of, I think, the genuine friendship that me and Nick had formed. They kind of cheapened it, and it got to more of like, oh, this is a showmance. And
right.
Him and I joked around, and I was like, oh, we're a jury-mance, you know, joking. But it was just so much more than that. It was an actual genuine friendship that I think that both of us deserved to build on because of how I left the house.
Yeah, I don't mean to say that it was drama, meaning your relationship was drama. I mean, we know, I think fans of this show know, that Big Brother is a reality TV show disguised as a competition show. And, reality TV shows love a love triangle. So, what better? They got it served up and they can edit it and put it out in whatever way they want to. Now, I have to say, I was somebody that was on Twitter, and I was saying that I thought that Nicole and Nick would end up together postseason. I am happy to now say I amend it, and I kind of love a Nick and Kat together, if that happens. I am not here to push a relationship on anyone or force people together, but I'm saying I kind of love a Nick and a Kat together.
Yeah, we're cute, right?
Yeah, I like it.
We have a lot in common. We're very similar. We kind of have the same sense of humor. I mean, he is my best friend from the show, which is shocking because when I got evicted on day 58, I thought I was never going to talk to him again, and I was 100% happy with that. So I'm glad that we got to be such good friends, and he'll be in my life for a while. I don't
Okay.
know, romantically or what, but we'll see.
Right. Now, I do want to get this out of the way because we are talking for a second about relationships because there wasn't really a lot of you stayed out of a lot of the controversy around this season, although I would like to know, or fans would like to know what your opinion is on it. But there was one thing that kind of centered around you a little bit that was drama that I wanted you to have a chance to address however you wanted to. I'm going to take it from Maximus' mom, who is by far the worst person on Twitter, and she wants to know, did you have a boyfriend before entering the house? If not, did you know who the guy was saying he was your boyfriend on Twitter? So there was this guy on Twitter while you were in the house saying, I was her boyfriend, and here are our text messages, and we were in a relationship, and I'm heartbroken. What do you want to say about that? Was that a true thing, or what was the situation around that?
Yeah, I haven't addressed this yet because I honestly, it hurts me so much to even talk about. Marty was my absolute best friend. I tell everybody that he was my partner in life. We work together. We live a block away from each other. I spent 95% of my time with him. Right. And when I was in the house, I realized that this whole time while I thought that I was this independent person, it was actually because I had such a good friend that had my back in everything. So while I'm in the house, I don't know what's going on in the outside world. Right. And I'm sitting there crying, missing him. And I didn't even realize that he was using me as a publicity stunt, which is really unfortunate. And it wasn't necessarily unfortunate for me. It was unfortunate for my parents because I don't care what he says about me. I can handle internet trolls all day. I can take whatever people throw at me. But my parents were trying to contact him and they were like, why are you doing this? Why are you trying to drag Kathryn through the mud? What's going on here? And he wouldn't even answer their calls. And then I found out today from my friend Sydney that it was even like, he was like, come pick up Kathryn, like, because he had some of my stuff in his apartment. From like that was like in my trunk and was taken out or whatever. And he was telling my parents like, I need you to come pick up Kathryn's stuff right now. And my parents would drive out to his apartment to come get all my stuff, and he wouldn't answer their calls. He wouldn't answer the door, and he'd be like, oh, sorry, I left. Like, come back tomorrow. And then he like made them do that like 5 times. He was just petty and he was cheap, and that's not something that a true friend does. And as far as like me and Marty on a romantic standpoint, did I have feelings for him? Yeah. I told everyone that I could marry Marty and I could be happy for the rest of my life because he was such a good friend to me. Was he my boyfriend? No. We were thinking about maybe when I got back from Big Brother that we could make steps to be that way. Right. And then maybe we could be exclusive after that because, I mean, we got along so well. Right. But never in a million years did I think that he thought that he was my boyfriend. I was dating other guys before I left for the show casually. And he was dating other girls. He had a girlfriend when I left. So he was using you for... And it was unfortunate and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, like, this doesn't sound like a good friend that would do that. No, so
it's not at all. So, well, it's unfortunate that it happened, but I'm glad that it happened because had we actually made steps when I got back to be in a relationship together, that's not someone I want to be in a relationship with. I would never have done that to him if the tables were turned.
No, you want to run from people like that. I say when people show you their true colors, Kat, you believe them. Now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And those were his true colors. He's dramatic, and he just wanted to use me for, I guess, my Big Brother fame. And I heard that he got like 10,000 followers from it, so I hope they were worth it for him.
Yeah. I mean, look, here, I don't want to, again, I am not trying to push anyone together. I just want to say I have a wonderful relationship of setting up people post Big Brother season who normally...
Are you trying to set me and Nick now?
Oh, well, look, here's all I'm going to say. I learned a thing or two about Big Brother manipulation, so I'm just going to say this, Kat. I hear that you are upset about Marty. What a great thing to work through with, I don't know, a therapist?
Oh my gosh. So I will say this about Nick, because I think that this shows such a beautiful side of him, and this is the Nick that I love. So when we were in the jury house, you're still revolving around this game and you get caught up in it, and sometimes we would have breakdowns here and there because it's like it's almost like you feel like the end isn't there. You don't know how you're portrayed on the show. And there was this one time that I was like crying because I wasn't sure of how I was being accepted on the outside world, and just a bunch of game stress. And Nick sat there with me, and he like helped me with like breathing exercises to get me to calm down. He like wiped my tears away while I was crying. And I think that that's just a side of Nick that wasn't shown on the show. And it's heartbreaking to see a lot of people, I guess, talk bad about him on social media, because I am like, that y'all don't even know Nick. Like, y'all, that's what y'all say about him isn't true at all. It's the Nick that I know.
Right. And that's what matters. What matters is what you two know about each other. And honestly, I would encourage people to go and watch the Nick show that we did with Nick. You can check it out on our website. I know all the feedback that I have gotten or received from it was how much people loved it, how much they saw a different side of Nick, how they appreciated how he owned things when they felt like other people weren't owning them. So I would encourage you, if you're not a Nick fan, to go maybe check that out. And I have a feeling you will feel differently. So they should all go check it out.
Yeah, he has a way of turning the people that hate him, he can make them like him.
He's not going to make me like him, because still at the end of the day, he's from New Jersey. So that to me is, Kat, you need to work on that. You need to pull him out of that garbage state.
He is coming to Dallas next weekend. We're going to go to the Cowboys.
Thank God. Keep him there.
So, yeah, I'm going to make him wear a Cowboys jersey.
Just do it, Kat. Just do it. I don't hate New Jersey, everyone. It's just a joke. Relax. I want to take a question from Mac Nugget, BB21, who wants to know, what exactly happened between Kat and Nicole in the storage room? So, on your eviction, we heard we didn't get to hear your version of what happened in the storage room. We kind of heard Nicole retell it, about that. I want to let you say what you want to say about it rather than I don't want to speak for Nicole. So what do you want to say about what happened in the storage room, or what that conversation was in the storage room that, Nicole says she was upset about at that time on the show? All we saw as an audience was she just came out and was upset. So what do you want to say about it?
So something that the show didn't air, because I know that Nicole was she was always kind of the swing vote in every eviction. She was kind of the one that was deciding who was going to go, who's going to stay. Her and I sat down at the beginning of the week when I went up, and I knew that in Cliff's Angels, it was me and Jess were very close, and Cliff and Nicole were very close. Me and Cliff were really close too. Me and Nicole were close on a friendship level, but I never talked a game with her. So I absolutely understood why she would keep Cliff over me. Right. And I told her that from day one. I was like, hey, I know that it's a hard decision for you because you and I are such good friends. And then her and Cliff were very close on a game and personal level.
Right.
And I told her that it was okay if she voted to evict me over Cliff. And I thought I made that very clear. But just because of the person that Nicole is, and she wanted to make the right decision, it was something that she did struggle with. But I had told her from day one that it was absolutely okay. She told me that she was going to evict me when everything was said and done and the new alliance of 6 had formed. And I told her it was okay. But what was happening was I was getting the impression that she was making these decisions based on a game that, to be honest, Nick was playing. And she was playing Nick's game at that point.
Right.
At least from what I was perceiving at that moment.
Yeah, what you knew in the game.
So it was unfortunate because she was kind of telling me that she wanted to keep me, but there was this new alliance of 6 that Nick, motherfucker, that he had formed, and she was going along with that. And I was like, well, how about if you don't want to vote to evict me, then don't vote to evict me. Vote for whatever's best for your game. And I was kind of trying to be motivational, I guess. I was trying to be like, hey, don't play Nick's game. Don't play anyone's game. Don't play Cliff's game, Nick's game, Christy's game, whoever. Play your game. Play a game that's going to make you proud, your parents proud, your kids proud. And she took it as, I would say that she was a disgrace to her family, and that's not what I meant at all. I would never say that in a million years. I was trying to be motivational of you can win this. Right. You have all it takes. Just play your game and the game that you're proud of. And there was just when stress is high, things are taken the wrong way. I apologized to her about it immediately after I saw her because it doesn't matter what I meant. It matters how she took it. So I didn't want to do anything that would make her feel bad.
And I will say that is what she said. She did say that you apologized immediately and that, she misunderstood it. So that...
it was a misunderstanding. But I hate that because me and Nicole had so much fun together. During Justice HOH week, she was my best friend in the house because we could laugh like nobody else.
Right.
So I hate that could have tarnished things a little bit, but it was just a misunderstanding.
I mean, we loved it. We loved watching, you as part of Cliff's Angels, you with Cliff and Jess. I mean, you had a lot of moments in that house that, of course, so many people love. Now, again, you are linked to a lot of love, Kat. You are linked
I know,
to
sign up for Love Island.
I will tell you right now, and I think I said this during the season, watch that we will end up seeing Kat on Love Island. But what a ton of...
I would rather go back for BB All-Stars, first of all. But, I mean...
Well, of course.
I don't know. I don't know if there's enough guys for me on Love Island, to be honest.
Well, I see a lot
totally
of...
kidding.
I knew you were kidding. I know that there are a lot of people that want to know, what's going on with you and Brett? Has he reached out? Have you heard from him?
Brett's a conspiring friend.
Look, I'm just saying.
I'm kidding. No, he's not a conspiring. Okay, so I feel a little bad.
You shouldn't.
I should?
Not. You should not.
Oh, I should not. No, so before I went on the show, there was a rumor that Brett was going to be on as a returning contestant. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go like a bunch of his photos so he notices me, which I had done so many times and he never followed me back.
Mm-hmm.
But so I was kind of like scrolling through and I did notice that there was this girl that commented flames on one of his photos. And it was a girl that I know through pageants. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, like maybe they're dating. But there weren't any pictures of them together. I wasn't really sure. So it wasn't like I knew that he had a girlfriend. Turns out, while I was away, he started dating. So I didn't know that he had a girlfriend this whole time. Mm-hmm. And from what I've heard, it caused some trouble with them. And I feel really bad about it because I was just trying to be fun. And, Brett, from what I saw on the show, he has a similar sense of humor to me.
Right.
And I felt like if I was in his position, I'd be eating it up and I'd think it was funny. And, I made him relevant in season 21. And I guess I didn't think he was going to take it in any kind of bad way, but I think he hates me. He doesn't follow me back. And I even kind of saw him being like a little petty on Twitter about me. So, so I don't know who that is. Sorry.
To quote my quote from the Christie show, I'm just going to sit here and drink my water.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, please. Look, Brett was okay during the season. Brett is Brett. I don't really that much understand Brett so much.
Me neither, to be honest.
He's not really giving a lot back to the BB fan community. I don't know. Brett's just Brett. My point is... So you're better off. Now, here is my advice for when you go back for All-Stars. Forget about shouting out these previous Big Brother players, Kat. You need to start shouting out people like Sia, like these celebrities and artists that give you guys money when you lose. Those are the people you should be shouting out.
I wasn't trying to shout out for like any kind of recognition or anything. Mm-hmm. It was more of like, so off the record, this is actually kind of why I ran with it as much as I did. So very early on, of course, there was a love triangle with me. Well, love triangle, whatever.
Right.
With me, Jackson, and Holly. And first of all, I never liked Jackson. We definitely had a friendship and we were very close. And he really did a lot to keep me safe in the game the first week, whether it showed on the show or not. I know that it showed him talking a lot of shit, but there were a lot of things that he did that kept me safe in the game with everybody that was on his side.
Right.
But I never liked him romantically. It was more of like he reminds me a lot of my friends back home.
Right.
He's fun to talk to. I'm endeared to him. So when he went with Holly, I was fine with it. I was like, okay, cool. I don't need romance anyway, so this is great. But once production I don't even know if I'm allowed to really talk about this, but once I was getting called in the DR about things, and I realized that they were kind of trying to edit it in a way of it was Jackson and Holly, and I was like the girl on the side of look kind of desperate. I was like, hell no, I'm not about to look like this desperate bitch. So I'm just gonna run with my crush that I have on Brett and shoot my shot and see what happens. And people thought it was funny. People thought it was entertaining, and I'm here to entertain. And I thought maybe Brett would call me after the show, and he didn't, which is totally fine by me. But it was more of kind of a way that I didn't want to come across as this, I created my own fake showmance, if you will. Right. To distract from maybe a potential love triangle that would have been really awkward and made me look really desperate.
Yeah. No.
So I look desperate with Brett.
No, I like it. I definitely like it, and it was fun. I mean, so much of your game, like, for example, just your DRs, even when you were going out to vote. I mean, even we got, I'm out bitches, we got conspired this bitches, but just you going in to vote, like, I looked forward to that every Thursday. It's like, I can't wait to see what Kat says when she's going to vote today.
And I'm so glad that you say that because that is the thing that I wanted to entertain. I made a decision very early on that I didn't know how long I was going to be on the show. I wanted to win.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I know that as a fan of Big Brother, I want someone to give me good TV. I want someone to entertain. I understand that, like, yes, it's a reality show, but people want to be entertained and people don't want to have to deal with like petty drama all the time. So I hope that I was able to put a smile on people's faces at my own expense.
Yeah, exactly. I want to take a question from Curtis, who wants to know, what did you think of Jackson sipping tea during Christie's eviction speech? Did you see, because we got a few Jackson questions, we're going to start here. Did you see him like shadily...
I haven't watched the show yet.
Oh.
No, I was scared. I just watch like funny clips.
Oh, watch it. You're fine.
We're all in a group text, so we'll like talk about stuff. And,
okay, you're fine with that. But let's talk about Jackson for a minute, because obviously, like you said, you didn't want to be in the love triangle and blah blah blah. I mean, I was inspired by you in the way that we saw you hooking up a little bit with Jackson first. But then the second he disrespected you in that house, you were kind of like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be a part of this. And I thought that was, number one, empowering for people, to kind of see you be like that in the game. What is your thoughts of Jackson now, post-season? Like,
Holly and I are very close. So
right.
I have hung out with Jackson quite a bit since the show wrapped. Because I stayed with Holly while I was in LA for the past, I guess, 2 weeks. So him and I get along. It's hard to explain because I don't want to say he's like my brother because everyone's like, oh my God, you hooked up with your brother, and that's disgusting. Right. But him and I would be interested in seeing what our personality tests came out to look like because it's almost like the things about us that are similar are the things that are explosive. Like there are things that I would do that would piss him off to know it, and vice versa. But then at the same time, when we got along great.
Right.
But then he would flip just like flip a switch and he would yell at me. And it was just because we were so like oil and water that it was just explosive together. And at the end of the day, I have nothing but love for him. I think that there's a lot of things that he says that I don't agree with. A lot of things that in his gameplay that I don't agree with. But still, I really do want what's best for him. And I think that he is taking the criticism and everything that people are saying, and he's actually building on it. And he's trying to become a better person, which is a great thing because sometimes people have never been faced with that. And it's almost like they've been enabled their entire life and they need something like that so they can realize, okay, wait, I can't talk like that. I can't act like that because that's wrong. And it took him this long to realize it. But he really is, deep down, he just got to trust me on this. He is a good person.
Oh, I believe you. I always think everybody deserves a chance. I mean, that was what Big Brother was always in my mind, and what attracted me to it from a psychological standpoint was it is to put people into this, experiment where they're gonna realize things about themselves, and then the goal is. Yeah, well, we're gonna find out with your last question. No, I don't mean you're not. I mean, just wait till your last question. We're gonna find out if there's one thing that you learned. But yes, I agree with you. I always think if people come out and apologize for what they did and are taking steps to, better themselves for it, we should embrace that because everybody, deserves the chance to kind of grow and learn. I would think.
And I think that there is one.
Go ahead.
Well, there's a difference between apologizing because I do think that sometimes people apologize just because it's what people want to hear.
Correct.
But it's one thing to apologize, but also apologize and really take what you learn, not blame anyone but yourself, and learn from it.
Right.
And that's something that I've seen that Jackson is doing. So I'll say whatever I can about his gameplay, whatever. But as far as like moving forward from here, I think he is taking everything as a learning lesson.
And I do, and I can't wait. I can't wait till tomorrow at 6 p.m. when we talk to Jackson and we get to find out those things. But I think there is one thing that Jackson cannot take back, Kat. There is one thing that he cannot take back, and it's something that he did to you.
Yeah, I know. What an asshole, right?
It does have to. It does have to do with the asshole. You're correct. Remember when he would fart in the room for you?
Horrible, disgusting. Oh my gosh. But okay, but I also do feel kind of bad because they did keep us cooped up in the house.
Uh-huh.
And you couldn't escape it. And those guys were the smelliest. So like they would just fart all the time. And
Really?
I've never lived with guys, so I like I didn't know that the people just sat around and farted all the time. But they do.
It's pretty gross.
It's disgusting.
Not all guys, not us gays, but yeah, the straight ones do apparently. I loved that you were like in there like with the Febreze, like spraying it all around the room. You were like, no.
Oh, he got so mad. The slop farts.
Mm-hmm.
The slop farts fight was a big thing, and I cried literally all day Sunday. I was like,
we saw,
sobbing. And I don't know, and honestly, I feel like when we were fighting about it, like I kind of blacked out because I can't even remember what was said and why I was so upset. But it turned into a very personal fight. And now looking back on it, I'm like, did we really fight about farting?
I mean,
that's embarrassing, and that's Big Brother for you.
I will say a lot of people were confused because in the game, it very much seemed like you were under a lot of distress because of Jackson.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you would be in like your GRs or voting, you would be like, I'm going for Jackson. But
I was.
But then you were.
Sorry, Jackson.
And I think that is what a lot of fans were kind of rallying around you behind because obviously people are rooting for the underdog and want to go after the person that is in power. But then when you did your interview with Julie, you know, you were talking like how you were talking now. So my point is, I think it's very clear that when you're talking about a game scenario versus your personal real life feelings with him, which is what I think sometimes people get those two confused. Like, why is she being nice?
So the thing about Jackson that a lot of people don't realize because I don't think it was shown on the show, but people will say things about how I was a mole for the other side. Jackson was a mole for me. All of my game information I got from Jackson.
Oh,
so
really?
He was valuable for me to keep in the game. So that's why when it came down to evicting him or Jack, as much as I wanted to get rid of him in that moment because he had we just were getting off Have Not Week. He made me cry all day. We were getting in these explosive arguments. I could not get rid of him at that moment because I still needed him to give me information on Tommy, Christy, Sis, like the entire other side of the house.
Right.
So he was a valuable person for me. And him and Holly did have a final three. Whether that was going to be honored over Cliff's Angels, I don't know. I mean, we would have had to see how it was going to shake out in the game. But I really did. I knew that I was going to have to get rid of Mickey because me and Holly, who also had a final two, I knew that he was always going to choose Holly over me. I mean, I wasn't dumb. So I was kind of kept safe by him because in his eyes, me, him, and Holly had a final three. Mm-hmm. But I really always had Holly's back and not necessarily his. So it's kind of like I would tell people that I'm going after him, and then I would turn around and be like, oh, but like I'm telling them I'm going after you.
Right.
But I'm not. So he would keep me safe, and he wouldn't put me up. But I was going to get rid of him. It was going to be the upset of the century, which would have been epic. Right. But I didn't win HOH.
I know.
And also, I was maybe going to use him as a pawn a couple times just because he was giving me valuable information. So I don't know. It's weird.
I really, I felt for you on your last week when you were having those conversations with people about like how you didn't want your story to end here. This wasn't how you wanted your storyline to end.
Yeah. And if I would have stayed in the game, he wouldn't have won. I mean, he would, because I was the only one that was going to take a shot at him. And I know that I probably could have beat him at slip and slide. There's a lot of physical comps that I probably could have beat him at that I know that he was unable to be evicted from pretty much my week that I got home to the end of the season because he was winning vetoes, he was winning HOH, and if I would have stayed in, I don't think he would have won all those competitions, and I probably would have gotten him out. Me and Holly would have been in the final two, or me and Jess, or me and Nicole, me and Cliff. I don't know.
Well, let me ask you that because I know a lot of people have been asked this question in different ways. If you could have brought anyone to the final two, who would you have wanted sitting next to you?
So I hate this because I feel really awkward because Holly's probably watching this.
I think
So
she's
I
traveling.
I had two final twos. I had a final two with Holly and I had a final two with Jess.
And
I was getting a little nervous leading up to it because I was like, what's going to happen when it gets to like me, Holly, and Jess in the top three, and then I win HOH and I have to choose someone. So I was kind of just thinking, okay, the universe is going to decide for me by the time we get there. You know, it'll work itself out. As much as I love Holly, there were a lot of things that she did in the game that I think, while she might have thought that she had my best interest in mind, she really had Mickey's best interest in mind.
Right.
And her and I may have had a verbalized final two, but where her heart was and where her head was, it was always Mickey, and it wasn't me. Yeah. But I love her, and I get it. I absolutely get it. But at the same time, Jess had my back in everything. I tell everyone, I've always told Jess, I was like, she was the best friend that I've always needed and the support that I always needed. And she really did a lot to keep me sane just on like a friendship level and having her there in the house.
Right.
So I would have loved to take Jess to a final two. I feel like she would have beat me though, which would have sucked. Yeah. Everyone loved Jess.
No, we all love Jess.
And I know, and from what I see, I know that a lot of like she got the edit of how like she didn't know anything in the house and whatever. And I mean, sometimes there was information that she would give me there you are sipping your water again.
No, I'm really.
There was information that she would give me that were wrong because of where the source was coming from. But I think that if she would have made it to the final three, it would have meant that her gameplay was impeccable, and she would have played an absolutely winning game.
I will definitely 100% say this. Again, we had Jess on yesterday. People can go and watch that back as well. She really did explain a lot more of her game and what she was thinking in moments. I just was saying, I don't know that, I wouldn't think that the jury thought that based on the things that they were saying about her while she was in the house, but she was one of the only people who went after the big players. So I definitely think that going after Jack would have been a great, point on.
She was just ballsy, and I don't think that they showed that on the show. I mean, when she won HOH, she was like, "I'm not here to just put up someone that's weak. Like, I'm going after the stronger player," and that's admirable. Like that, I would have been scared to do that. Except for I was going to put up Jackson. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Little Nickette 02 wants to know, Kat, you were one of the first players to rightfully peg Tommy as a major player. What made you see this in him when others were blinded by him?
So there were... I really am good at picking up on social cues and picking up on, something that I noticed that no one else noticed in the house was Tommy, the way he lied. He would fake cry. No offense, Tommy, sorry. But he would fake cry and he would lie all the time and no one else saw it except for me. He would get really stiff in his posture. He would hold his head at like a different angle. And he whenever he was crying, he would stick out his bottom lip, but it was a different cry than his regular cry. And I noticed things about this, about everything.
Right.
So he was playing the game of kind of like JC, or at the time. Now that I'm looking back on it, I realize that he wasn't. But at the time, before I realized that there were that big alliance, I thought he was playing like a JC game. How I thought he was kind of playing like a floater game, and he was trying to keep the sides equal. So that's where I first started going with that. And then when I realized that he was part of a big alliance and that he was a good game player, then I realized, okay, wait, he's not playing the game that JC was playing last season.
Right.
Last season, he's playing more of like a Frankie game. And Frankie was a savage-ass player. So there was just a lot of similarities that I was picking up that he would do that I had seen on previous seasons or that I'd read about from previous seasons. And I knew that he was a player that he wasn't as innocent and nice as he was playing out to be.
Okay. I want to take this question from Anne over on Twitter, who wants to know, what was your favorite moment in the Big Brother house?
Gosh, so many people have asked me this, and I wish I could come up with, I wish I could have one defining, this was my favorite moment. But I think as a whole, I've never laughed so hard. Before going into the Big Brother house, I don't remember laughing so hard that I literally couldn't even talk, or that I had abs from laughing. And a lot of that happened during Jess's HOH week. So it wasn't necessarily a defining moment. I think it was more of the week of Jess's HOH, just getting to know Nicole more, getting to hang out with Cliff and Jess, and just kind of being safe and free and just laughing and having fun. That was, I don't remember a time that I had laughed that genuinely. And that was a really great moment, especially in a place that's so stressful. It was great to have that just freeing week.
Right.
So I like that. And then also on day 2 when Tommy ate mayo, that was really funny.
Right, exactly.
I don't think anyone saw that because it didn't make air.
Correct. Well, I mean, we don't get to see the beginning. I like storage room dancing as seen there.
I love that, yeah. The storage room dancing is so fun.
When you have time, what you should do is you should go look up Power of Cheeto on Twitter, who I think was a really big fan of yours this season and like has kind of collected a lot of the best moments from everybody all through the season. But he has a lot of really good clips and funny stuff that you did on the season as well. That will be a nice jog down memory lane for you. Nurse Cheryl wants to know, do you still feel that Nicole was not playing her own game? So there were a few times in the house where you're like, Nicole's not playing her own game. Do you still feel that way?
Yes and no. I think that her and Nick were very close. And they were a very powerful duo together.
Right.
Nicole was responsible for breaking up Grateful. She played a huge part in breaking up Six Shooters. I mean, she was a powerful player. I also, at the same time, think that there were instances that she was playing Nick's game. And that's nothing against her because I mean, I'm the same way.
Right.
So in my game, I realized that if people think that you're useful for their game, they'll keep you around as long as they can because they think you're a number. They think that you're their bitch. Right. And whatever. So I think that she was playing a very similar game to that, in where she was doing some of Nick's dirty work, kind of instigating some things for his game. And it wasn't that she was playing his game. It was that part of her game was making herself useful to him. So I get that. But there were times that she would say things that she, like, for instance, when the new Six had formed on the week of my eviction. Right. She made it seem like she didn't want to go with that Six. And like it was kind of like Nick was telling her that this is what she was to do. Clip was telling her, and it was like, okay, play your game right now. Right. But with that being said, I haven't watched the season back, but from what I can pick up on, I think Nicole played the best social game this season. And it's just her demeanor, just her personality, and she was seen as a non-threat by so many people because they were so caught up in their own Grateful stuff that she would literally be sitting in a room and just like hanging out, and people would be talking game right with her right there, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's just Nicole, like it's fine." Right. And I think that being that player that can make themselves so non-threatening and make everyone else think that they're a tool in their game. Right. I mean, that's such great social game.
It is. Scarlett wants to know, Scarlett 7, how did you feel when you found out that Christy had a crush on you?
Oh, I thought, man, there's nothing better than finding out like a lesbian has a crush on you because that's when you know you're hot. Like guys, I mean, like I don't know if it's controversial or whatever. No. But like guys thinking I'm hot, like okay, great, like whatever. Oh, when a girl thinks another girl's hot, that means that you're bitching. Like that means that you are hot. So I felt really cool. I felt really good about myself. But I still don't know if it was gameplay. Like, did she really have a crush on me, or was she just trying to tell me that so I would like, have a crush on her back?
I think I think it was for real. I think she really had a crush on you. I feel the opposite way. There's always girls telling me that they like me, and I'm like, why? Where are all the guys telling me? It's so sad.
No, but like when a guy
I get it.
You're hot. Yeah. Crush on you. Then you're like, wow, I'm hot shit.
I'll let you know when I know what that's like.
When it's from the same sex, that's when you know you got it together. Advice from me.
Speaking of hotties, Jill wants to know, this is a bad transition. Jill wants to know, how is your relationship with Bella now? Post. See, I don't read them right away.
Oh, I don't even talk to her.
You're not?
No. I didn't like her in the house.
All right. Jill wanted
I don't feel bad. Like, I mean, so Bella, I know there's a lot of Bella fans out there, so I'm sorry. Don't come after me on Twitter. But Bella was the first person in the house that made me feel like I didn't belong. She was so rude to me. She would roll her eyes. And honestly, watching the show, I'm on the first day on move-in, she was saying how she wanted to slit people's throats. I mean, she would say some really mean shit,
right,
and try to play it off as game.
okay.
So I would put up with her, and there were instances that I saw a different side of her, and I saw a nice side, an empathetic side. But the side of her that mostly I saw was not someone I want to be friends with, and I feel bad. And I'm sorry that I think that, but you don't have to be friends with everybody in the house. You don't.
Correct, you don't. And you don't have to apologize for how you feel either. But let me just ask you this, because I know that this is going to be what people are going to say to that.
I know, they're going to be like, Kathryn did it on purpose.
No, it's, you said earlier that, you understood what Jackson did and he apologized and is taking steps to better himself. So does that mean that if Bella apologized to you and took steps to show that she was sorry, then you two could be okay? Okay, got it.
Yeah, I hate holding grudges. I don't hate anybody in the real world, but he doesn't apologize to me. I think that she is very angry with me because of all of the Nick stuff, and rightly so. I get that. But I hope that she does realize that it wasn't ever supposed to be an attack on her. It wasn't, me and Nick were not trying to do anything to hurt her in any way. And, I don't know. If she apologizes to me, we can be friends.
Okay. Well, I don't know, because Bella, had a lot of Wi-Fi.
I don't think she's apologizing, but whatever.
She had a lot of Wi-Fi trouble this season. I tried to get her on a few times, but she just kept having Wi-Fi trouble. So if that ever clears up, Bella.
So when I had Wi-Fi troubles, you were like, oh, great.
You two have more in common than you might know with Wi-Fi. With the Wi-Fi problems. Yeah, I think that, I don't know. I hope that ends up working out, with the two of you. A lot of people want to know, I'm going to take it from Dylan, who would you have voted for if it was Jessica and Cliff in the final two?
Oh, I don't know, because I love them both so much. But from when I got evicted to the finale night, I was leading the Cliff fan club. I don't know if they showed this on the show, but it was almost annoying everyone in jury, because I would get so I was so emotionally invested in Cliff's success that I remember I was crying one time because everyone was kind of talking bad about him in his game, and I was like, no, that's not true. And I was trying to stand up for him, and I was getting emotional about it, and everyone was like, it's so weird how emotional you are about Cliff. But I he's my dad, what can I say?
Right.
But I really did love the game that I saw from my standpoint. Again, I haven't watched the show, so I don't know. But I do think that he was the oldest contestant, and those are typically the ones that go home early.
Right.
And he got banished, he came back. He got evicted, he came back.
Right.
He played such a good social game that he continued to make himself a non-threat to everybody in the house. I thought he played a winning game. But again, I haven't watched the show, so
well,
we'll see.
I think that was the correct answer, because Cliff watches these back. Confirmed. So that was a good one if you care who's going to watch the show.
But I do love Jess. I would have loved to. I love everything that Jess stands for, and I would have absolutely loved to see her win Big Brother.
Well, let me ask you this one too, because this is another one people want to know. What if it was Nicole and Jackson in the final two?
Oh, Nicole.
Hands down. You don't need to hear the speeches. Yeah. It would have been Nicole. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But so here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, because I gotta keep up here and there and see what people are saying. I don't think that Nicole would have won the jury though, because keep in mind that jury was all of Grateful plus me and Jess. So in their eyes, they thought that Nicole was playing a floating game. They didn't think that she was a big player. But since Jess and I were in alliance with her, we knew that she was a good player and that she wasn't a floater. She just wasn't included in their alliance. Yeah. And it was hard whenever we were doing the roundtable. I could tell that she didn't have a lot of the respect from the other people as far as gameplay goes, and that they didn't really take her seriously when really she played an awesome, awesome game and a winning game. But I don't think she would have had the votes. I don't think anyone would have had the votes against Jackson, except for maybe Tommy.
And I am floored, because I agree. I thought that she would have won regardless, but then having all of you jurors on, I am learning, oh, no, it is true. Yeah.
Me, Jess, and Cliff would have been probably her only vote.
Wow. Whitney Florum wants to know, if you could go back and restart the game, who would you align with that maybe you didn't? So would you want to change anyone that you aligned with, or is there anyone you wish you worked with more in the game?
So me, let's see. No. All the people that I aligned with, Holly, Jackson, Cliff, Nicole, Jess.
Mm-hmm.
Loved working with them all. The only person that I wish that I would have aligned with would be Nick. When I got evicted, or that week that I got evicted, I pitched to him a final 2. And I think that had he accepted that, and I would have stayed in the game, and him and I did have a final 2, I do think that we would have been unstoppable together. Because we both are equally athletic, we both could win comps, and I don't think anyone would have seen it coming because people thought that I hated, well, people knew, that I hated him. It would be kind of one of those, like, the best alliances go unseen kind of things.
Right.
And I really would have loved to see that play out. But, yeah. So that's the only person that I wish I would have aligned with more closer.
Okay. I want to take this question from Sherry Blackberry, who says, Kat, you were by far my favorite player this season, and I would love to see you play again. Would you if asked?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I know you
I'll
just...
be back in tomorrow.
Okay, and a lot of people, I'm going to stick this in here too, a lot of people want to know, would you do Survivor?
Oh, I would. Oh my gosh, can you imagine me on Survivor?
No.
So bad.
No, I cannot.
Funny, though. I'll honestly, yeah. Because people, when they go on Survivor, they come back like, snatched. Like, they have abs of steel.
Right.
I mean, I would do it for, like, the weight loss alone.
Okay. What about Amazing Race?
Yeah, I'm thinking about, like, hypothetically, who I want to be an amazing, like, at first I was thinking me and Cliff, because Cliff's my dad, but then I know he's much closer with Nicole, so people probably want to see a Nicole-Cliff duo more than me-Cliff, which is fine. I think me and Jess would be a lot of fun to watch. I think me and Holly, but of course, Holly has Jackson. I think that me and Nick would be hilarious on Amazing Race. Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I don't know if I'd be very good at it, but it'd be fun. And I might be good at it. I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
I didn't think I was going to be good at Big Brother, but I guess I was okay.
Rachel Ann wants to know, who would you do it with if you could do it with anybody? So I know you were naming like Big Brother people, but is that still who you would do it with if you could do it with anyone? Like, would you want to do it with a family member, or are those the people you would want to do it with?
Well, what's really funny is my plan before I went on Big Brother was I thought that me and Marty would be amazing at Amazing Race. We would have won. So now that he's out of the picture and he's dead to me, so
yeah, we're over Marty. We don't need to talk about Marty.
Open, so people slide in my DMs.
Okay,
if you're interested.
We don't care about Marty no more.
Could have been on Amazing Race with me, but
coulda, woulda, shoulda. Well, I'll tell you about that later. Nurse Cheryl says, you seemed upset in the DR after Holly and Jackson got together. Was that the editing of the show, or were you actually upset? So go ahead. What do you want to say about that?
Well, I haven't watched the show.
I know you haven't watched. That's why I was saying
but
it was
but I really wasn't upset. Like, I didn't cry at all.
I think that's what they were getting at.
About Holly Jackson, this is what I have to say about that. Me and Jackson were never romantically interested in each other. It was literally like, whatever. Like, we were flirting, I guess. We were having fun. Like, it wasn't anything serious. I also firmly believe in, if a guy doesn't want to be with you, if he doesn't, even like from a gameplay standpoint, if I'm not good enough for him, then he's not good enough for me, and that's okay because I have other options. Maybe not in the Big Brother house, but I've never been one to get caught up on a guy. If they say that they don't want you, then there's nothing you can do to convince them otherwise. And it wasn't even that I wanted him in the first place. So.
I think you might have already answered this, but I saw a lot of people are asking, who would you say was the most difficult to get along with in the house?
I don't know, because I don't actually.
Look, by the way, difficult doesn't mean you didn't like them.
I'll tell people all day, but once you get people's fan bases involved, I don't want fan bases coming after me. Pretty much everyone who you saw me not like on the show were difficult to get along with. Okay.
And I just wanted to say, like, difficult to get along with doesn't mean you don't have to, you have to not like them or be saying anything bad.
I know that I was probably difficult to get along with. Living in a house with 15 other people, everyone is going to be difficult to get along with. And it's okay. Like, you don't have to get along with everybody. And
right.
You don't have, like, I think that a lot of people that I see on Twitter and on Instagram, it's almost like they get mad at me for not getting along with people. And it's like, okay, you don't have to get along with everyone. Just because you're cast on the same TV show doesn't mean they all have to be best friends. I absolutely respect every person. And I think that, you know, there's a lot, and I see the best in them. But as far as personalities, sometimes personalities don't go together, and that's okay.
I mean, I am very like a neat freak. Some people might say OCD clean freak. Like, you will, like, your glass is not empty and I've already taken it, washed it, and it's in the drain. People would find that very difficult to live with.
Yeah.
I think it's an admirable trait.
I know, and that's the thing, is it's not like anyone that I think are difficult to live with. Right. It doesn't mean that they did anything bad by any means. It just means that something about our personalities just didn't match, and that's okay, because I know that they would probably say the same thing about me. Yeah, I mean, I think it's okay not to.
Love Dumb wants to say, Kat, I just want to let you know that I love the moment that you voted to evict Jackson when he wasn't even on the block.
That was some of my best work.
We absolutely loved it. Annie says, it's Kat, it seemed like you knew a lot what was going on in the house. You really had people pegged, but it also seemed like you weren't using that information to your advantage. Did you just not feel that you had enough people to make things happen in the game?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I guess I did, because there was Grateful, of course.
Right.
And I went the entire summer feeling like it was Grateful's game, and I was just a part of it. And I was just there. And I was, you know, whatever. And that is something that I struggled with a lot in the jury house, is I felt like, did I just waste all that time? And I was never even taken seriously as a competitor at all. Because keep in mind, we don't know how people are perceiving us. We don't know how, you know, like, we're very critical of our own games, and we don't see what other people are seeing. So I think that me, Jess, Nicole, and Cliff all collectively did feel like we were kind of fighting a losing battle. And of course that was proved wrong, because the top four we had Cliff and Nicole both in the top four. So Cliff's Angels proved to be a pretty badass alliance. We all made it to jury.
Right.
But it was hard to kind of go against such a strong alliance.
Right.
And then at the same time, I would have people, like you mentioned the thing about Tommy earlier, and how I was kind of the first one to pick up on, you know, his mannerisms and how dangerous of a player he was.
Right.
What was I supposed to do with that information? He had literally everyone in the house, you know, I mean, and he knew Christy. I mean, there's nothing that I could have done to really do anything about that, unless there was a time that I was thinking, okay, if I were to win HOH, I could put up Jackson as a pawn and put up Tommy and convince Tommy that he's the pawn. And then I had the numbers that I could have gotten rid of him, because I had, of course, Cliff's Angels. And but other than that, I mean, I was just never really in a position of power to do anything about it. And I hate that. That's my biggest regret of the game. I wish I would have won HOH, and I wish I would have been able to make these big moves, which is why they need to have me back for All-Stars, so I can redeem myself.
Speaking of Cliff's Angels, maybe 420 says, what was the goal in exposing the Cliff's Angels alliance? Was it just that you thought it would form enough cracks and create enough chaos to get you to be able to say?
No, I mean, actually, I knew that I was screwed. Especially this year, which we did so many damn house votes, which was so annoying, and I know America probably hated us for it. I knew pretty early on that I was going home. Like, I think both Nick and Nicole told me on Wednesday, I believe, that I was going to be going home. So there's nothing I could have really done. At that point, I mean, I knew that Cliff's Angels was no more, because I was going home, and Cliff wasn't going to go on with Jess, because the new alliance had formed. So I just thought, you know what, do it for the Wiki fandom page. I mean, at least it'll be lit. And yeah, just kind of creating chaos before I left. And I'm embarrassed. I hate that I did that. But I mean, people are talking about it.
It's fun feeds, and we love fun feeds.
Yeah, I'm here for the fun feeds.
I also have to say, Miss Janny Talley, I saw in chat, said, I still crack up remembering when Jack left the pool area. Jackson said, bye, buddy. And Kat said, good luck finding your dad. We love an elf quote. We love an elf
Guys,
quote.
I'm always quoting movies.
We love it. Michelle, I'm going to take this question from Michelle M, who is one of your number one fans.
No.
And she wants to know, can you explain your relationship with Holly once and for all? Because there has been so much that has been talked about it on the feeds. Well, obviously, we got it in the edit on the finale. There were people, just talking about it everywhere. What do you want to say about your relationship with Holly before you guys came into this game together?
So yeah, Holly and I, we knew each other. It wasn't in any way, shape, or form close to how Tommy and Christy knew each other.
Right.
But we were familiar with each other, and we have a lot of friends in common. We both work for energy drinks, energy drink companies. We both run the pageant world. We kind of run in the same circles. But I wouldn't say she's like my best friend, and I didn't date her sister or cousin or whatever it was that Tommy and Christy had in common.
Right.
But I was familiar with her, and it was reassuring to know that from what I thought, I was like, there's no way that this girl is going to do anything to wrong me in this game because we have so many friends in common back home.
Right.
But, whether that was true or not, it did make me feel reassured.
So then I think that's kind of your answer to Courtney's question. She wants to know, what is it that made you, or why did you trust Holly and Jackson so much? It really, to us, seemed like Cliff's Angels had your back so much more.
Well, it was mostly that I was familiar with Holly, and then also that Jackson was my mole the entire game. And and a lot of the information that Cliff's Angels had was because I was getting it from Jackson. Right. So, of course, and also part of my gameplay too, it was the thing that a lot of people don't understand is when you're on the show, there's a lot of things that go on in your head that you never get to speak on in the DR, or it doesn't make it to the cut, or you don't really say out loud on the live feed. So there's a lot of gameplay in your own head that's going on.
Right.
And my game strategy was to basically make people think that I was their bitch. I know that Jackson thought I was a little bitch. Nick thought that I was a little bitch. And there were so many things and it wasn't me being weak. It was me trying to be useful to them so they wouldn't get rid of me. And so was I loyal to Jackson and Holly? I was loyal to Holly. I was absolutely going to get rid of Jackson. But I think that maybe what it showed on the TV was me kind of playing into that whole, like, oh, trust me, like, I'm a number for you, I have your back, when really it was kind of me plotting against them in a really indirect way.
Diane BB Feeds fan wants to know, did you tell anyone in the jury that you really knew Holly?
Yeah, I couldn't keep a secret.
Okay.
I told Jack, like, right when I got in, I was like, ha, I got you. But then I felt really bad I felt so bad about it because I didn't realize that Holly was going to make it to the final two, and I was like, oh, shit. Like, I'm probably blowing her chances now because I just told everyone that we know each other.
Right.
So then when I found out that Christy and Tommy really did know each other, then I was like, okay, good. Holly's still good.
Miss Man Cougar wants to know, are you going to return to your old job or are you pursuing something new?
Well, the fact that Marty...
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? I think it's typical of reality stars to ride out this whole like influencer personal brand stuff. But I was already doing that before I left on the show. So I have a really strong digital marketing background and I'm, Instagram, social media, all of that. So I am going to absolutely ride that out because that's what I was doing before I left. But I guess my big idea is how can I transition this and this reality show fame into someday owning and operating my own digital marketing agency. So I'm not just like going to be like here's me with my skinny fit tee. I'm actually being very thoughtful about every single thing that I do and how can I make this be something bigger in the long run.
That is brilliant. I love that. I want to take this. I got like 3 more questions for you. And then we're gonna do something else. But Anne Schroeder wants to know if you could play in any other BB season, which season would it be and why?
Okay, I'm going to sound like such a bandwagon fan on this. But I really did... Okay, and also keep in mind... there's so much to unpack on this.
Okay.
So, something that a lot of people don't... Or some people do know this about me is I was recruited to be on Big Brother.
Right.
And I know that a lot of times recruits get a bad rap because people are like, oh, they're just here they don't respect the game. They don't know the game. They're just here for clout. And that was not me at all. As soon as I got recruited for Big Brother, I started binge watching seasons. Genius. I studied. I looked up every single, like the best moves of Big Brother, the worst moves of Big Brother. Like I lived and breathed it. And the only reason why I didn't watch was because I just didn't have a TV and I don't watch TV. But I was absolutely in it to win it.
Right.
So I'm not that familiar with previous seasons. But I will say that I have watched season 19, season 16, and season 20. And I love season 20 out of all those because I think that they were actually getting along. It was more of like an unconditional love kind of getting along when in previous seasons there was a lot of bullying, a lot of mob mentality. So probably season 20.
Let me ask you.
I know it's a really long answer for that. But.
No, that was perfect. But let me ask it to you this way, because I believe you did the finale party. You did Vegas, right? Mm-hmm. Or you didn't? Did you do the finale party? Oh, you did. Okay. Who did you enjoy meeting the most? Who was someone that you?
I love Rachel.
Rachel Riley?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rachel's great.
No, well, I love her too, but I didn't meet her. Rachel from season 20.
Yes, Rachel from right.
We're a lot alike.
Yes, actually.
So we would have never been cast for the same season, but I really did, like, from a friendship level, I really enjoyed talking with her.
Okay, very important question from Natalia Salvador, who wants to know: marry, shag, kill, Nick, Jackson, and Jack. Who are you marrying? No, you can't. You're gonna kill Nick?
God. I'm kidding, no. Sorry, Nick. Okay, oh gosh. Wait, so marry, shag?
Yeah, who do you want to marry? Nick, Jackson, or Jack?
I mean, okay, so if I answer this, Twitter's gonna go on fire. And
Twitter is not going on fire. Twitter's gonna relax because we're playing a game. So...
Okay, I mean, obviously, marry Nick.
Okay, marry Nick.
But I don't want to shag Jack or Jackson.
I mean, you kind of already did.
Can I shag
Who are we going to kill? Which one are we killing? How about that? We'll just say which one we're killing, and then the last one is just left over. So who are we killing?
I don't like this game. So now it's like, either I kill one or I have to have sex with them? Like, for real? Like that, those are my options?
Okay, what if we kill one, and then it's assumed that the other one had a heart attack before you got there? Okay, so who are we killing?
I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna kill for you. We're killing Jack. Done. And I went with... I don't think I'd want to kill Mickey because I don't want to kill Mickey. He's friends with Holly, and why would you want to do that to your friend?
He gives me too much good information. I'm kidding.
What?
No. I don't want to kill Mickey, but I also don't want people being like, "Oh, she wants to shag Mickey." God, Twitter is really fucking friends.
Cat, who wants to be the social media mogul. You're gonna listen to people that complain on the internet?
I don't listen to them. I troll them back.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is fun, right?
Sometimes there's just like some battles that you don't even want to introduce.
Look, here's what I do. You just have fun with those people. I called a kid a dildo today, so it was pretty fun, and I laughed about it.
I've never called a kid a dildo.
Well, I did, and I thought it was funny.
But maybe after this I will.
Well, you know what, Kat? I want to give you full screen to say whatever it is you want to say to all of your fans that came out here for you tonight. But first, I want to remind everybody that make sure you guys share these shows. Sharing our content helps us out so much, whether you're putting it places where people, might not know that it exists, or telling your friends or family, just liking, retweeting, sharing on social networks. It is such an incredible way to help keep these shows going. So thank you so much to everybody who does that. Of course, if you've missed any of our previous shows with the house guest for this season or any of the past 12 seasons of Big Brother, check it out on our website, yourrealityrecaps.com/bb21. Of course, you can check out our Survivor, Challenge, Drag Race, Bravo shows, everything over on our website. Make sure that you're you're following us at the two places where we go live so that you get alerted when we go live and you can hang out in the chat room. That's YouNow at YourRealityRecaps.com/YouNow and TVCo at YourRealityRecaps.com/TVCo. Of course, if you want to help financially support our shows, consider becoming a patron. YourRealityRecaps.com/patron for access to the patron-only Facebook group, prize giveaways, weekly shows, and of course, the after shows with the house guests. You could always do a one-time donation at YourRealityRecaps.com/PayPal. Also, make sure that you start all of your Amazon shopping with us at YourRealityRecaps.com/Amazon. And follow us on Instagram, please, because it would really be nice. You know what else would be nice? Hearing from Kat and what she wants to say. So, Kat, what do you want to say to all of your fans that came out here tonight to hear from you?
Gosh, thank you so much for accepting me. I had so much fun on Big Brother. It was a dream come true. I left as a better person. And to top it all off, the best part about it all was that I was so loved and accepted by the Big Brother community, and it means so much to me that y'all accept me for who I am. And I see all of the messages that I get, all of the comments that I get, and good or bad, I really do appreciate people for just being invested in me and my journey. And I don't know what I did to deserve it, but I hope that everyone always realizes that I genuinely appreciate them so much. So thank you for everything.
I love that. Now, where do you want people who want to keep in touch with you and be part of the Kat experience? I know I have your Twitter and Instagram above you, but tell the people, for those that are going to be listening in iTunes and audio-only versions later, where should people follow you on social medias?
So I'm pretty much on Instagram. That's where it's at. So follow me on Instagram at Kat Dunn, KatDunn. And then I do love Twitter. That's where I get my news. That's where I get in Twitter fights occasionally. So if you want to follow me there, it's Kathryn Dunn, ITSKATHRYNDUNN.
Perfect. I will, of course, have the links to all of Kat's social medias below this video on the edited version that people will be watching back later. I want to say congratulations to Michelle M., who ended up being your #1 fan this show. Congratulations, Michelle. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in and watching us tonight, and thank you for being here, Kat. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern with Jackson, and on Tuesday we will be here with Holly. Patrons, we will see you guys.
Ask him who he wants to shag, marry, kill.
Okay. Kat, I got a good idea. When we end this, I'll record a video of you and we can make it the question from you. Like, I'll play it as a video question for him on his show. That's what we should do.
Wow, I'm just trolling him for the rest of his life.
Troll away. Patrons, we will see you guys in a minute. Bye for now, everybody. Bye, guys.